Who would you say are the 5 toughest players that you've had to face?
Again, and you can just go by the winning records, right?
Right.
Magic, Kareem,
Okay.
Bird, Dr. J, and then I would say Jordan.
Oh, Michael's not number 1. Let me defend Isiah Thomas on this. Is Michael Jordan the greatest winner of all time? Oh, no, he's not. Bill Russell won 11 titles. Michael won 6. Okay, he's the best scorer of all time. Oh, no. That's Kareem, who was not only the best scorer, but had the greatest single shot, the skyhook. Okay, well, Michael does more things well than everybody. No. Even LeBron critics would acknowledge he's a better ball handler, he's a better rebounder, he's a better passer than Michael. LeBron does more things well. Well, then Michael elevates people more than anybody. Oh, God, no. Magic Johnson, everybody was great with Magic. That's why Magic went to 30% more finals than Michael Jordan. Well, he's the ultimate Iron Man. He's like Cal Ripken. He never missed he quit twice. He was a great basketball player, perhaps the greatest ever. But in Isiah Thomas's eyes, when Isiah Thomas faced Michael Jordan in his prime with his Pistons, Michael couldn't beat him. By the way, couldn't beat the Celtics either. And I've always said, there's 2 facts about Michael. It's almost sacrilegious to bring these up, but they're both facts. When James Worthy and Michael were teammates at North Carolina, they won a championship. When James Worthy left for the pros, Michael stuck around. The following year, Michael's college basketball team with Dean Smith, it wasn't the best in state. North Carolina State won the title. He didn't even have the best college basketball team in state, Michael. And then he went to the NBA, and do you know how many playoff series he won without Pippen? For our radio audience, the answer is a bagel. Those are facts. Michael won a title when he had Dean Smith and Phil. He didn't win with a lot of coaches. He didn't win with a lot of players. When he had a Hall of Fame number 2 and a Hall of Fame coach, he won. The following year, he went 8 years without winning. He had a bunch of good players. Had a bunch of quality coaches who won games. These are facts. And the fact is, Michael's not the greatest scorer ever. He didn't have the best shot ever. When he left, the Bulls were still very good. 57 wins to 55. When LeBron leaves teams, they disintegrate.
There are moments when basketball is more than just a game. It is history. It is memory. It is the living symbol of an entire generation. And in that history, there is one name that sends chills down your spine the moment it is spoken. Michael Jordan. Yet on live television, Colin Cowherd dared to trample the truth, leaning on the words of Isiah Thomas, a man who has carried an unhealed bitterness for decades, to rank Michael Jordan only 5th among the toughest opponents he ever faced. 5th, behind Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, and Julius Erving. Pause for a moment and feel the sheer absurdity of that claim. This is the man who won 6 NBA championships with a flawless 6-0 record in the finals. The man with 6 finals MVPs, 5 league MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 9 all-defensive first-team selections, and a Defensive Player of the Year award. The man who turned the 1,990 seconds into his personal stage, reducing other legends to supporting characters in his story. And yet, he was placed below 4 others, as if his legacy meant nothing. That is no longer a matter of opinion. That is a blatant insult. It is mockery of legendary battles, of the sweat and blood Jordan shed on the hardwood, of the memories of millions who saw him soar, who saw him explode, who lived through an era where every opponent was crushed under the weight of number 23. Isiah Thomas may still carry the bitterness of seeing his bad boys destroyed by Jordan. Colin Cowherd may twist himself in knots trying to bend the truth. But the truth never wavers. Jordan is not 5th. Jordan stands above all. Michael Jordan is not a name you casually shuffle into a ranking. He is the finish line every other legend runs toward. He is the very definition of greatness, and anyone who dares diminish him, anyone who mocks him, only exposes themselves as blind before the blinding light of truth. Colin Cowherd and Isiah Thomas may use words to cloud the picture for a moment, but history, numbers, and everlasting memory will force them to bow their heads in shame. Jordan, the ultimate winner. Colin Cowherd argues that Michael Jordan is not the greatest winner because Bill Russell has 11 championships. At first glance, the number 11 seems to overwhelm 6, but if you stop at numbers, you miss the very soul of winning, the soul that Jordan turned into art, into legacy, into the absolute standard. Look at the context. Bill Russell played in an NBA with only 8-10 teams. There was no free agency, no salary cap, no balanced distribution of talent. The Boston Celtics hoarded stars and kept them for their entire careers. Russell was great, but those titles carried the weight of a closed dynasty, built more on collective dominance than individual supremacy. Jordan's world was different. He stepped into a modern NBA with nearly 30 teams, relentless media scrutiny, and global pressure that suffocated even the strongest. In that unforgiving arena, Jordan didn't just win, he won perfectly. 6 trips to the finals, 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, never sharing, never yielding. That kind of completeness has never been touched. LeBron, 6 finals losses. Magic, defeated by Bird and later by Jordan. Kareem, overpowered by the Celtics. Only Jordan stood undefeated on the grandest stage. And remember, Jordan didn't just win, he crushed entire generations of stars. Charles Barkley 1,990, 3 MVP fell 4-2 to Jordan. Karl Malone 1,997 MVP was denied twice in back-to-back finals. Gary Payton Defensive Player of the Year couldn't stop him either. The list is endless. Stockton, Ewing, Drexler, Reggie Miller. An entire era of Hall of Famers left empty, handed because they had the misfortune of playing in Jordan's time. What made it even more devastating was the machine-like perfection of Jordan's triumphs. Never a game 7 inches the finals, never a stumble once he reached the summit. Every time he had the chance to seize the crown, he did. The world never asked, can Jordan win? The only question was, how will he win? Cowherd says Jordan isn't the greatest winner. The truth is clear. Bill Russell may own more rings, but Jordan owns perfection, completeness, and invincibility. And that is what defines the ultimate winner. Winning is not only about quantity, it's about quality. It's about context. It's about how you shoulder pressure and leave, no doubt. And in every dimension, Jordan stands alone. He didn't just win, he turned winning into a sacred standard. Bill Russell was the symbol of basketball's early era. Michael Jordan was the emperor of the globalized NBA. Russell thrived in an 8-team league. Jordan reigned in a world where the NBA became a global superpower. And Jordan did it with a legacy that was flawless, untouchable, perfect. When people speak of the greatest winner, they don't remember sterile numbers. They remember the feeling of Jordan lifting the trophy. They remember his words, "We're going to win," and the certainty with which he delivered. They remember opponents trembling as they entered the finals, knowing the immovable wall that awaited them. They remember number 23 raising the trophy as if it were the law of nature itself. That is the difference. Russell won more. Jordan won perfectly. And basketball does not worship quantity. It worships perfection. When the conversation is about the ultimate winner, history calls only one name: Michael Jordan. Jordan, the unmatched scoring machine. Colin Cowherd claims Michael Jordan is not the greatest scorer because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar holds the all-time scoring record and possessed the unstoppable skyhook. Yes, Kareem had the most points for decades. But here's the truth. Being the greatest scorer is not about piling up totals over 20 seasons, it's about absolute dominance every single time you step on the floor. And in that, Jordan stands alone. In 15 seasons, Jordan won 10 scoring titles, more than anyone in history. He finished his career averaging 30.1 points per game, the highest mark the NBA has ever seen. Not Kareem, not LeBron, not Kobe. Only Jordan owns that crown. And remember, Jordan achieved these numbers in an era that was brutal for scorers. Hand-checking was legal. Defenses were physical. The three-point shot wasn't heavily used. Opponents played rough. And yet, no matter how much contact or how many schemes they threw at him, Jordan always found a way. When he wanted, he attacked the rim like a storm soaring past defenders, switching hands in midair like a magician. When the game demanded, he unleashed the fadeaway, his signature mid-range dagger that every defender knew was coming but still couldn't stop. That shot wasn't a one-trick move like Kareem's skyhook. It was part of an arsenal so deep and varied that every game felt like a masterclass in the art of destruction. Kareem scored by longevity. LeBron is breaking records through sheer durability. But Jordan, in just over a decade, proved himself as the most perfect scoring machine ever created. Not just scoring more, but scoring more efficiently, more decisively, and more ruthlessly than anyone before or since. And here lies the true difference. Jordan didn't score to pad numbers. He scored to finish opponents. When the game was tightest, when the world held its breath, the ball was in Jordan's hands, and more than half the time, the shot fell. No other player in history gave that level of inevitability, not even Kareem with his immortal skyhook. Greatness in scoring isn't defined by career totals. It's defined by owning every moment, every game, every season. And in that, Jordan is unmatched. He wasn't just a scorer. He was the supreme scoring machine, the man who turned scoring into art, into a weapon, and into the eternal nightmare of every opponent. Jordan, the true standard of all, around greatness, beyond LeBron. Colin Cowherd argues that LeBron James does more things well than Jordan. More rebounds, more assists, better floor generalship. On the surface, it sounds convincing. LeBron has the body of a power forward, plays in an era where every player handles the ball, and naturally fills up box scores. But true all-around greatness is not about raw numbers. It's about absolute impact on both ends of the floor, and in that regard, Michael Jordan stands above all. Jordan averaged 5.3 assists per game for his career, enough to make him Chicago's hidden point guard. In 1988-89, he averaged 8 assists per game while still scoring over 30 points. The key difference? Jordan created offense while being smothered, while carrying the full scoring burden. His passing wasn't a statistical obligation. It was another weapon to kill opponents in whichever way he chose. Rebounding? Jordan didn't stand 6'9" and weigh 250 pounds like LeBron, yet he still grabbed nearly 7 rebounds a night in his prime. Why? Because he jumped higher, moved quicker, and hungrier than anyone else. More importantly, he didn't just secure defensive boards, he ripped offensive rebounds and turned them into instant daggers. And defense. This is where the gap becomes undeniable. Jordan was a 9-time All-Defensive First-Team selection and 1 Defensive Player of the Year once. LeBron? 6 All-Defensive selections, 0 DPOY. Jordan was a nightmare on both ends, the league's leading scorer and an elite defender at the same time. LeBron may chase down blocks, but Jordan broke plays apart before they even began. Jordan's all-around greatness cannot be reduced to stats. It was about his ability to control the entire rhythm of the game. When he wanted, he scored 50. When he needed, he delivered 15 assists. When he commanded, the whole team revolved around him like a machine. And when he decided, the game ended in his hands. LeBron can do many things, but Jordan did everything while still remaining the game's deadliest assassin. That is the definition of true all-around greatness, a standard even LeBron could never touch. Jordan, the true elevator of teammates. Colin Cowherd insists that Magic Johnson elevated his teammates more than Michael Jordan. Magic was indeed a wizard of passing. No one disputes that. But elevating teammates is not just about delivering assists, it's about turning ordinary players into champions, forging men into warriors, and setting a standard so high that everyone around you rises to meet it. And in this, no one surpassed Michael Jordan. Look at the rosters. Magic had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Byron Scott Hall of Famers, proven stars before the championships. They were elite before Magic, and they remained elite with him. Jordan, however, took a franchise that was irrelevant, a roster filled with question marks, and he turned them into legends. Scottie Pippen before Jordan was raw talent, uncertain, still searching for identity. Under Jordan's shadow, under his relentless demands, Pippen became one of the greatest two-way players the game has ever seen. Horace Grant, Steve Kerr, B.J. Armstrong, players who might have remained footnotes in history, were hardened into champions by the crucible of Jordan's leadership. And how did Jordan elevate them? Not through soft encouragement, but through an uncompromising pursuit of excellence. He pushed teammates past their limits, demanded their absolute best, and refused to let mediocrity survive. Some crumbled under the weight, but those who endured Pippen, Kerr, Paxson, Kukoc became immortal. This is the truth. Magic's style made teammates feel comfortable. Jordan's style made teammates transcend comfort and reach greatness. Magic made good players shine. Jordan made players into champions. Elevation is not about smiles and passes, it is about results. And the result is clear. 6 championships, 2 three-peats, a dynasty built not on convenience but on sheer will. Jordan didn't just make teammates better, he dragged them into greatness and carved their names into the walls of basketball history. That is real elevation. That is Michael Jordan. Jordan, the Iron Man of perfection, beyond LeBron's longevity. Colin Cowherd argues that LeBron James is the true Iron Man, that his longevity, his ability to play 2 decades, makes him more impressive than Jordan. On the surface, that sounds persuasive. But longevity is not the same as greatness. Perfection lasts longer than any career. Yes, LeBron has played 20-plus seasons. He has accumulated mountains of stats and rewritten the record book through sheer endurance. But ask yourself, does durability equal immortality? Or is immortality found in the flawless execution of greatness, something LeBron never achieved and Jordan never surrendered? Jordan's career was not as long, but it was sharper, cleaner, more decisive. He retired twice and still returned to dominate, still returned to three-peat again. Think about that. 2 retirements, and yet 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs, 0 losses on the biggest stage. Every time Jordan committed himself, he ended with perfection. LeBron's legacy, by contrast, is full of cracks. 6 finals losses. Multiple collapses in the biggest moments. A longevity king, yes, but not a perfection king. Jordan didn't need 20 years to prove himself. He needed just over a decade to etch an immaculate record that LeBron's endurance could never erase. Longevity is admirable. Perfection is untouchable. The world doesn't chant for the one who played the longest, it chants for the one who never failed when it mattered. That is why Jordan's legacy glows brighter with each passing year. It was never about how long he played, but how completely he conquered. LeBron will be remembered for his years. Jordan will be remembered for his flawlessness. And when history weighs perfection against longevity, perfection always wins. Jordan, conqueror of dynasties, destroyer of legends. Colin Cowherd claims that Michael Jordan never truly beat a real dynasty in the finals, that he faced the Pistons and Celtics when they were old, and the Lakers when their glory days had faded. This is not just wrong, it is willful blindness to history. Jordan's path to 6 championships is littered with fallen giants. He didn't rise by sneaking through cracks, he knocked down the doors of dynasties and left legends broken behind him. In 1991, he faced the Lakers led by Magic Johnson, still a finals-caliber team, still dangerous, still stacked with talent. Jordan dismantled them 4-1 and announced a new order had arrived. In 1992, he faced Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trail Blazers, a team built to dethrone him. He crushed them 4-2. In 1993, Charles Barkley, the league MVP, at the peak of his powers led the Phoenix Suns with the best record in basketball. Jordan shredded them, averaging 41 points per game in the finals, and walked away with a 4-2 victory. In 1996, he returned from baseball exile and confronted the Seattle Supersonics, a 64-win powerhouse with the Defensive Player of the Year Gary Payton. Jordan still prevailed 4-2. In 1997 and 1998, he clashed with the Utah Jazz, led by Karl Malone, 1997 MVP, and John Stockton, 2 Hall of Famers at their absolute peak. Twice Jordan buried them with cold-blooded daggers, sealing back-to-back 4-2 victories. That's not beating weak teams, that's conquering the strongest of the strong. And beyond the finals, Jordan erased dynasties in their prime. He didn't dodge the Pistons, he broke them. He didn't avoid the Celtics, he went through them. And when it was all over, the league's legends Ewing, Malone, Stockton, Barkley, Miller were left with empty hands because Jordan stood in their way. Dynasties don't die of old age. Dynasties are slain. And Jordan was the executioner. To say Jordan never beat a dynasty is to ignore the tears of legends who spent their entire careers chasing a ring, only to be denied by number 23. That is the cruel truth of greatness. When Jordan reigned, no other dynasty could exist. The final verdict: Jordan above all. When the dust settles, when the noise of debate fades, when statistics and opinions clash in endless cycles, one truth remains unshakable. Michael Jordan stands alone. Cowherd can twist narratives. Isiah Thomas can cling to bitterness. Others can stretch numbers to fit their agenda. But history is not fooled. The court remembers. The legends who faced him remember. The millions who watched in awe remember. Jordan is not the fifth toughest opponent. He is not merely one among the greats. He is the summit, the peak, the standard. He is the undefeated finals assassin, the ultimate scoring machine, the defender who suffocated, the leader who forged champions, the perfectionist whose 6 rings gleam brighter than any total amassed through longevity. Russell had numbers. Kareem had a shot. Magic had charisma. LeBron has years. But Jordan had it all, and he had it perfectly. 6 appearances, 6 victories, 6 finals MVPs. No cracks, no doubts, no excuses. That is why when people speak of greatness, they speak in Jordan's language. That is why his name echoes beyond basketball, beyond sport, into culture, into myth, into eternity. So let Cowherd talk. Let Isiah protest. Let the critics shout. Their words fade. Jordan's legacy does not. Because in the end, the game itself bows to him. Because in the end, history itself bends to him. Because in the end, Michael Jordan is not fifth. He is first, last, and forever.